Hello! So this one will be a short and sweet one, sort of building on the last tutorial that was about lighting. What I thought I'd show you today is how to switch out atmospheres by scripting. And it's fairly simple. It's just that the scripting itself is done in a slightly different way than usual in Osiris. So let me just show you. So first of all, as we have learned, we want to find our atmosphere and lighting. We want to find our atmosphere and lighting triggers. So if we go into the atmosphere trigger in the sidebar and then the atmospheres, you can see that here we have set a nice dusk atmosphere. So you might have noticed that when you open atmospheres from the base game or lighting triggers in general, there are a lot of stuff assigned. There will be a lot of stuff assigned here. And that's because you can switch between them. So let's add something else. We want to switch between two different atmospheres, so let's add another one. Okay, so now we have two, right? Click OK. So you can see the one we just added. And why can we see the new one? It's because it's on top, so we don't want that, right? So let's go back to Dusk Gale Heaven and let's see if we can add the storm under it. Yeah, so we're back to where we were at. Okay, so now the Dusk Gale Heaven one is on top, and we want to use a script to change it into the other one, yeah? So what can we use to change it? Well, we can use basically anything. Perhaps we'd like it to change when we enter a trigger. So let's just see if we have any fun triggers in this level. We don't really. Let's add an event trigger. So event trigger, and let's make it a little bit bigger. We can put it wherever we like. So how did I get this nice way of resizing it? You click the little diamond thing here. So that's really cool. Right, so what if we place it here? I'm just gonna move my character over here. Doo-doo. So then we know that there is now an event trigger right here. So when we walk through this trigger area, we want the atmosphere to change. So let's see how we do that. What we need is a little script to make this happen. I am opening the story editor and we will add a new script. We can call it something like test atom change. Very creative. The script is super simple, but it is a little bit different from what you're used to. So you want to have an entered trigger, for example. It could be a flag or anything you like, really, that calls this. But the event trigger we're using is called 000. And I click. Yes, so there it is. Event trigger 000. And then we get to the fun part. We want to use TriggerSetAtmosphere, so you want to put your atmosphere trigger. Our atmosphere trigger is called 000. We are in the right level, so we can just add it. And then the new part is that in here you want to put the identifier for that atmosphere. And for this to work, the atmosphere has to have been added into this atmosphere trigger, like I showed you, where you can add lots of atmospheres in the same trigger, even if just one of them are showing. And to put in the value here, to identify the atmosphere you want to change this to, you have to actually go from the resource manager. So it's not a root template thing. You have to find it in your project in the resource manager. So what did we call it, right? It was storm something. Yeah, I remember it was Worms Storm Heavy. So let's copy this. And we just want the GeoID. And let's see what sort of info we get there. Yeah, so this should be the right one. So, are we going to make this work? Let's try to build this. It does say build success. Loading, loading, loading. Alright, here we are. There should be a trigger here somewhere. Aha, it has started raining. So thus we have replaced the atmosphere and also changed the weather. And there are plenty of different calls you can use here to replace it, remove it, or whatever. You can do similar things with the lighting, yeah? So this was just a really short way to show you how to do that. If you look in the BG3 modding wiki for this, what's it called? The triggers atmosphere and everything to do with setting atmospheres and lighting triggers, it says that you have to render the light probes again. From what we're seeing here, that does not seem to be true. So I suggest you try it out. And yeah, I hope you can make yourselves nice atmospheres. And another thing that's interesting that I wanted to show you is that some of these atmospheres have effects that we don't often see in the base game. For example, Delirious hair is moving with the wind. So let's add as a little bonus to this episode, editing that. You can go to the work atmosphere panel and then you can open these atmospheres. You have the lighting and you have the atmosphere resource editor. So in the atmosphere thingy, let's just close the lighting one, you can actually set the wind speed and direction. So just for fun, let's see what happens. Maybe we'll increase the gust speed as well. I hope we don't break this, but yeah, let's see if that works. We are back. Let's see if our trigger still works. So as you can see, we have the original atmosphere now. And now it's raining again because we entered the trigger area. Yeah, and you can see that now Dal's hair is moving quite a bit more than it was earlier, right? So yeah, and especially easy to see with the historian. Very easy to change these parameters to get different effects. And Deliria is happy, and that means I am happy, so I hope you enjoyed this little video.